Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is such a treat to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. It always means so much to me that you tune in to these episodes every single week, whatever you're doing, taking time out of your schedule to spend a bit of time with me really means a lot. So thank you so much. Guys, I want to quickly update you on life since the last time we spoke. Things in the house have been going great. Things are finally settling in. As I've said before, my fall so far after last week's episode has been so fun. I'm really trying to embrace it. As I've said, I have a lot of upcoming plans with my family, with my friends, and I am so pumped for it. I'm going to the Richmond Pumpkin Patch. If any of you in Vancouver has been there, it's super cute. It's not really a pumpkin patch where you actually go into the pumpkin field and yank out a pumpkin and cut it yourself or whatever, however it works. It's none of that. We're going with my baby cousins, so like easy peasy. They're just laid out on the field and we go get to pick our favorite one. But I am so pumped to spend the afternoon with my family. We're probably going to get mini donuts as per usual, and it's so funny because my cousin, he always buys like way too many, so each of the kids get their own bag, and then he usually gets one for each of us too. But so funny. So I'm really excited for that and really trying to embrace an attitude of fall being the new summer, as I talked about before, and just knowing that this type of energy is all about how you embrace it and what your attitude is for each and every day as we approach some rain, because I know that it's coming. But we're going to have a positive mindset leaning into it. Also, quick other updates as you're listening to this. I'm recording on a Saturday, and later today I'm going to my two best friends, Brett and Han. It's their birthday weekend. It's actually Hannah's birthday today, and Brett's was on Tuesday last week. And so we are celebrating. We're going to this club. I do not go to the club anymore. Way too old for that. But they rented out the top floor of this space and for a few hours. So I will absolutely go and dance the night away with them and just celebrate my wonderful friends. And I'm so excited that we get to have another birthday together. I get to watch them grow and just flourish into the incredible beings that they are. So very pumped for that. And it's a wig party. So I'm debating whether or not one of my coworkers gave me her purple wig. So thank you so much, Sheila. Really appreciate you. It's like a cute little lavender color. It's super cute, actually. I just don't think I can rock different hairstyles than the one that I have. I feel like most people look very good with their natural hair. Obviously, you were born with that. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's Maybelline. But I just feel like nothing else suits me, and I should never get bangs. That's for dang sure. Maybe like longer curtain bangs. I kind of already have framing of my face with longer bangs, but not straight across. So anyway, there's this purple one, long hair, bangs, cute. I have a black bob that I could try, but I just feel like I can't. I feel like I'm going to look like, what's her name? Edna from The Incredibles, which, like, queen, love her. I can't pull it off. Or Shay actually bought two bald caps on Amazon, and so we might go as Pipple because it's kind of a wig. Like, my hair is long and thick, and so having a bald cap would be quite funny, I feel. But I don't know. I can't decide. I guess we'll figure it out when we are doing the little pre-game, whatever. It should be a fun party, so I'm pumped to see everybody's wigs. And then I actually just got back from having brunch with one of my good friends, Tal. Tal, I love and miss you so much if you listen to this episode. It was such a great time catching up with her. She and I used to be roommates, and they were roommates a few years ago when we were in the same dance company, and it was just so much fun living downtown with her. I remember we split a room because I don't know if you guys know much about downtown or like Vancouver living in general if you don't live here, but basically any room, like a den, a solarium, people are trying to rent it out as different bedrooms. And so we had lived in a space. There was 3 of us girls, me, Tal, and Han, and it was a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment, but there was a den attached to one of the bedrooms, which was mine, and they were like attached by slider doors, so it really didn't keep out any sound or light. And so it was kind of tricky navigating schedule wise, but Tal and I basically shared a room. And her room was so cute and little, and it overlooked the balcony and was honestly a great space. And I loved my room too, but she would wake up really early in the morning to go to work, and her alarm was so loud, and it played the song, it was by Jennifer Lopez, and Pitbull. I think it's the da na 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 na. Tonight we gonna be hit on the floor, something like that. Whatever. I can't even remember the name right now. So iconic. Crazy of me. Anyway, it would play over and over again, and sometimes she would wake up and sometimes she wouldn't. So then I would have to slide my door open and like rub her back. And I'm like, Tally, it's time to get up because the alarm was so loud. But anyway, she's in town. She came for the Jonas Brothers concert. So fun with her mom. And so we were able, timing wise, worked out well. We went for brunch, and it was so great to catch up with her. I have not seen her in a minute. But I just love my friends. I love sharing connections with them, and they just mean so much to me, and just fostering these relationships are truly incredible. So those are the updates that I have for you. So really appreciate you listening, and I can't wait to get into today's episode. So I know I recently posted another part in my series Partner to Single, but you know what? This is my podcast. I can do whatever I want. But I honestly, I figured that this was such a great topic to bring up today and in this particular series. And I really wanted to talk about falling in love with yourself and how to embrace single life. And I was actually inspired by this episode today because I came across a post from Alex Cooper, and it was titled How to Love Being Alone. And like, truth be told with you guys, I did not listen to the podcast if there was an episode about it, which I feel like there was, or like whatever thing she had posted about the topic, I didn't actually pay attention to. I just saw the title, and it inspired me to create today's episode because I figured, like, what better way to talk about loving single life while actually living the single life? You know what I mean? Like, I am in this moment in time right now. And I've mentioned previously to you guys that I've been single the majority of my life. And for the most part, I really love being single. And I genuinely mean that. Of course, I'm human, and I go through spouts where it would be really nice to have a partner to come home to share those smaller life moments with, and like just to have someone as a constant to talk to about anything and everything. I totally get that, and I absolutely feel that way. But also, single life is so much fun. And single life has taught me to really focus on myself, to start with loving myself first and tending to my needs first, to really like look inward and build a life for me and me only, first and foremost. And I think in some ways now I choose to be single because sometimes I have an internal fear, which, I mean, don't we all have fears? But you know, with working through it in therapy, all of that stuff, like I do have a fear that I will lose parts of myself, and the fear of like changing up my routine is kind of intimidating and scary to me, if that makes sense. But I think with the tools that I've learned throughout therapy in the last few years, and just noticing patterns within myself and with previous partners I've had that I don't want to repeat again, I do feel confident in the fact that I would be able to sustain a healthy and peaceful relationship for sure. But like, that being said, while I'm not closed off completely to having a partner at this time, the thought of bringing a man into my peaceful space right now is no way, Jose. I just can't imagine some guy's gym bag like laying on the floor of my apartment, or the fear that like he'd be laying in my bed with his outside clothes. I have a rule that I cannot even sit on my bed with my outside clothes, let alone anybody else. And side note here on this, when I was actually living with Tal, which is funny that we're talking about this now because At the time I had written this script, like I had no idea that she and I would see each other. But anyway, when I was living in this particular apartment with them, I was seeing this guy a couple years back, and I deeply cared about this relationship. I learned a lot from it. And anyway, the point of this is that things weren't great near the end, and I had a feeling that he was coming over to break up with me. And he had picked me up from work. We went back to my apartment. And knowing full well when the end is coming, I feel like we as women kind of always sense that there's this shift, this change in behavior and attitude, and we just know that it's coming. And so even though I knew that this was like a conversation we were going to have, I was kind of a wreck all day. We were about to sit down and have this serious conversation. When we got into my bedroom, I had to like stop him and lay a throw blanket over my bedding just so we could sit down and talk about it, because ain't no way, even when I'm getting broken up with, is somebody laying on my bed with their outside clothes. Absolutely not. Not for me. I digress. But the thought of sharing a space with somebody, let alone a man, right now in this time doesn't really make me feel excited. I know that I will eventually in the future feel differently for sure, but I just feel like I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like truly meant to be on this journey by myself for a bit. And that's not to say that I can't have connections with other people here and there. We're human. This is what we desire. We are meant to be connected to one another. But I love this journey with myself so far. And I ultimately today want to encourage you that if you're recently single, or if you've been single for a while now like me, there is absolutely no shame about being single. I feel like back in the day, there might have been, or, you know, as we age, there seems to be always that one family member that you visit once a year that is asking you, like, do you have a girlfriend yet? Do you have a boyfriend yet? Are you seeing anybody yet? When are you getting married? La la la. And sometimes there can be a feeling of shame or embarrassment if you don't have that, but there, like, isn't any need to feel that way. Do you know what I mean? I think everything in our lives happened for a very particular reason. And so if you're single right now and maybe you're wondering why in your head, why hasn't this worked out for me? I see all my friends in these beautiful relationships. Like, when is it my time? Trust me, I get it. But also think about the fact that this is probably the universe's way of preparing you for something so much greater that you have no idea. And in this time, you are meant to explore being on your own. And of course, throughout today's episode, please take whatever resonates with you. Leave the rest out. I hope you can take at least one thing, but if you can't, hopefully next Monday you'll be able to have something that you can take away. But I also want to preface that this episode isn't just for people that are single. I think if you're in a relationship and you're listening to me, you can benefit from this, because there are still going to be reminders throughout today's episode and just affirmations or benefits that we're going to talk about that you can still apply in your life with a partner. Being with someone shouldn't take away your independence completely. And yes, we are going to talk about the benefits of being single. That's what today's topic is mainly going to be. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you can't apply it to your life when you're with a partner to find time to focus solely on you, because I do think distance in a relationship is really healthy. You have to be able to set those boundaries to be able to spend time with your people and not always with your partner, and be able to have separate alone time, whether or not you schedule that in on specific days or just whenever you feel the need to. You know, I think it'll be beneficial for you guys in relationships. And also, I think it's a good reminder for people if right now you're going through a hard time in your relationship or you're going through a breakup, and I'm here to remind you that you have someone in your corner to support you, and I'm here to support you in any way that I can. And I just want you to know that regardless of whatever situation you are in life, particularly with relationships, per this episode, there are so many lights at the end of the tunnel, and that you'll always end up okay no matter what. I promise you that. But I just want to remind you guys that you aren't alone in this world. I feel you. I see you. You are heard and seen and loved. And of course, we are going to talk about my personal benefits that I've pulled from being single, how I feel currently. And I'm sure I'm missing a few because, the top of my head, I was able to come up with a couple things. But I also wanted to bring in some benefits of being single from what I actually read online. And Psychology Today, which I've definitely referenced a few times, I do really enjoy their articles. I think that they are pretty short, straight to the point, and have good insights of things. But they had 14 reasons why being single is beneficial. So we are going to go through all 14 of them, and I hope that it makes you feel better at the end. And then also, we're going to talk about my points. But number 1 is you alone can decide what to do with your time. Beautiful. Number 2, you can travel anywhere, anytime you'd like. That is such a fun one because I feel like sometimes in relationships, it's tricky to coordinate schedule wise of like, can we just up and leave? Can we just up and pack? But if you're single, you can literally choose, I'm going to book a flight to wherever, Japan tomorrow, and get on a plane and go. Should your schedule permit that? Should you be able to take time off work to do that? And you just don't have to think about a partner in that moment, or you don't have to think about the kids, or if you don't have a pet, like it's, if you're fully by yourself, it's so easy to travel wherever you'd like. Number 3, you can pick up and maintain any hobbies of interest. I feel like you should be able to do this in relationships too, but I get it's harder when there's another person involved in your life, but you can kind of just go with the flow, and whatever speaks to you and your soul, you can just explore that, and that's so cool. And you really don't have to have a rhyme or reason for it. It's just you'd like to. Why not? You have the time. Number 4, you don't have to make career or life goal sacrifices for somebody else. Yeah, I feel like career choices, where you're living, geography wise, these are big decisions that you often make with a partner because you have to make sure it aligns with both of you. Or sometimes there are compromises and you sacrifice in a way of, my partner's job made us move out here, But if you're single, you can literally choose whatever path of your career you'd like to be on. And also any of the goals you're working towards, you just have to account for yourself, which is pretty dang cool. Number 5, you can hang out with anyone. I mean, yeah, goes without saying, it's pretty great. Like, to be fair, I'm such a lover girl. I will be so loyal to you. I love putting my time and energy into one person. But it's also so much fun to be able to hang out with, text whoever, not have to think about how is this going to make my partner feel. Like, oh my gosh, you can just do whatever, and it's so much fun. I love it. So it's so great. Number 6, you may have more time to build your friendships and social circles. This is a great one. I think that maintaining friendships in a relationship is so crucial, but you can also build beautifully strong ones while you're single. Because again, you have more time to focus on those relationships and expanding your social circle in a way of you get to meet more people, whether it's through a hobby that you've picked up or your favorite sport or through work. Like, you just have more time to focus on other people and not one, partner, an intimate partner. Number 7, you can save more money. I mean, yeah, great. Whether it's like going out or even groceries, buying for 2 is a lot more expensive than just yourself. So it's pretty dang nice that you can save more money. I feel like I've always spent so much money in relationships because, like, even you want to buy cute little things for them. You're out at the store and you find something that you think about them. So you get it for them. And, it's a hack. You're saving some money. Save money, live better, right? Number 10. Oh, no. Number 8. I don't know how we jumped to that. Number 8. You can wear whatever you want and decorate your place in any manner. Okay, I agree with this one completely, but I have a bit of thoughts about this because my opinion has always been one of whether or not you're in a relationship, I feel like you should be able to express yourself, whether it be through your wardrobe or through the decorations in your home. I feel like you should express yourself in whatever way you feel comfortable with. I feel like you shouldn't have to focus on what is my partner going to think about my outfit. I feel as though if you have to question, like, will my partner be okay with what I'm wearing? That's low-key a red flag. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know. I just feel like I would have a difficult time if I walked out of the bedroom wearing something that I felt really confident in, and then my partner was showing signs of insecurity because that he was saying, oh, I don't like what you're wearing. You should go change. It's going to attract attention. Yeah. Okay, sir. Try that on me, buddy. I feel like you should be able to wear whatever you want, but I understand that maybe people are trying to be respectful of whatever. So yeah, I suppose the benefit is you can kind of, I guess the house thing makes sense. Like you don't really have to run by anything with anyone. You can just like, oh, I like this painting. I'm just going to buy it for the wall and you can put it wherever you'd like, you know? So benefit in my opinion, I guess. Number 9, you can get to know yourself and what you want a lot better. This is great. I definitely resonate with this one. I think it's very important to know yourself through and through. Maybe not fully 100%. I feel like we always learn more when we're with other people, but it is important to know yourself, what you like, what you dislike, how you want to be loved, how you want to show up for the people around you. And so being able to have actual time when you're single to focus on those things within yourself, I think is really crucial. Number 10, this one kind of goes hand in hand with number 9, but you can take better care of yourself. I mean, goes without saying, yeah, you only have one person to focus on, and it's you, which pretty important person, if I have to admit. Number 11, you have more room to grow. This is good because I feel like being in the wrong relationship, it definitely takes a lot of energy and effort. And in those moments, it would be hard to grow and flourish if you're spending so much time spent with the wrong person. And so are you actually growing if like all of your energy is trying to maintain something that ultimately isn't serving you? Do you know what I mean? So being single allows you to grow. It allows you to know that you don't want to put your energy into something that doesn't serve you anymore. And we're going to touch on that a little further because I feel like one of my points definitely goes hand in hand with that. But let's get into number 12. We're almost done here. Oh no, I guess there's only 13 points. I don't know how I said 14, but anyway, you can become stronger, more independent, more self-reliant. I think that there's a lot of strength in being able to do things on your own. I think there are very specific jobs, in my opinion, that are definitely blue jobs and pink jobs. I love that, the colors of that. There are things I really don't want to learn how to do, to be honest, such as put up a shelf. Could I learn how to put up a shelf in my apartment? For sure. Do I really want to? Not really. I feel like my partner could do that if I get one in the future. You know what I mean? But the point is that being independent is a strength, and being able to rely on yourself and use yourself as a resource instead of not knowing what to do and just leaning on your partner 24/7 for things that you could easily learn if you just spent a bit of time focusing on that particular thing, I think it is beneficial. And we want to be able to separate ourselves from our partner in moments where we need to spend time alone or need to spend time with other friends. So that independence is super key. So I think while you're being single, you can really focus on knowing that you actually don't need anybody but yourself. And there's a lot of strength in that. And last one here is you can become a better partner and have better relationships when the right person comes along. Beautifully put. I think I resonate with a lot of these points. I don't know why I said I think. I definitely resonate with a lot of these points. But just to add on to that, I did want to share some of what being single means to me in hopes that it kind of you feel the same way in some regard. But being single means to me, and benefits of it, is that I get to decide the course of my life at any time, which to me is the ultimate freedom. And it's funny because when I was having brunch with Tal this morning, she had texted me last night pretty late saying that she was in Vancouver. And so this was a very last minute get together with her, which is great. But she also knows me from living with me for a year, that she knows I love my schedule, which I've definitely shared with you guys before. But seeing as that, she knew I might have to throw a wrench into my weekend plans a little bit, like rearrange, she and I were kind of laughing about the fact that like, oh, Meg, like I know you were probably like freaking out that you already had everything so planned and prepped, and then I'm like hitting you with this, which like I've shared before that I really don't mind spontaneity. I really, really don't. I know that I like to give myself enough time for a lot of things, especially to recharge. And as I've said before, like sometimes in certain stages of my cycle, like I do require more time with just myself. But I mean, she doesn't visit Vancouver often, so of course I'm more than happy to change around my schedule, and I'm so happy to do that. But she meant it in the way that she knows that I enjoy being on a particular path of my choice, knowing that I have the schedule that I'm putting all of my energy into myself in these areas of where I want to take my life. And it brings me ease that I don't necessarily have to worry about anybody else's schedule but my own at this time. Because, like, we already have so much information going on in our brains 24/7. I swear, like, with everything online, with trying to juggle work and this and that, the thought of having to factor in somebody else in the choices that I make for the course of my life, it's a lot right now. So it's really nice that I can just be on this path and then change it at any time without any regard for another human but myself. Another benefit for me is that I don't get to have feelings of anxiety by being in a relationship with the wrong person. Because I've for sure have said this before, you've heard this before online, but your body, I think, will always tell you whether or not the person you're with is right for you. Your body, I mean, it keeps the score. We hold trauma in many ways, but so if like our body keeps score of so many events that happen in our life, of course your body's going to tell you this person is not right for you. With the anxiety, with those constant butterflies, with the unease that you feel, or even just physical reactions of your body when you leave hanging out with your partner, something like that. Like your body will tell you when it's not well, if that makes sense. And to be frank, right now in this stage of my life, and like at any moment moving forward, I would much rather be in peace by myself over feeling anxious with the wrong person, just for the sake of not being alone, if that makes sense. I have had many times, many moments of anxiety because of the wrong partner. And that's not to say that they are bad people, but they just weren't the people for me. And so why would I put myself in situations where I know I'm going to feel anxious, where I know that this person can't fulfill what I need them to fulfill? Because I mean, it ultimately comes from me, but like also your partner should not make you feel that way. And so I would much rather be alone than to have those feelings again, to be honest. But it also, being single means that I get to focus on myself, which means I get to pour love into me and also to my other meaningful relationships, like my friends and family. Being able to enhance the love around me through different relationships that I get to foster and I choose to put time and effort into is so invaluable to me. Like, that is the ultimate dream, is that I get to have people around me that support me and that love me through and through, whether or not I'm single. You know, it doesn't matter what status I am in, but the fact that I'm single, I really get to focus on the real invaluable friendships that lift me up, that make me grow, that push me to be a better human. Also, being single means that I get to be pickier moving forward for when I decide that I want to date again, meaning like who I let into my life, who gets my energy, who gets my time, etc. I feel like being more selective here is super key, because your outward energy is so important, and just as important as the energy that you carry inward. And so I think it's crucial to surround yourself with partners who enhance the energy and not steal from it. You don't want to be around people who drain your battery. You do not want to leave a situation with a partner feeling fatigued with the fact that something is not aligning. You know something's not aligning, but you're fighting it so much because you're scared to be alone. Or you've been with this person for a long time, let's say, and you're used to that. They bring you comfort, this and that. But being on your own and knowing what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate, you get to choose now moving forward who you allow in your circle, and there is so much power in that. I love that I can be selective now when I do choose to spend time, in the realm of actually dating. Like, I will be paying attention more to these things that I don't want anymore, because I've seen and time again through the partners that I've had in the past, like, I don't want to repeat history. So being single is great because you get to be picky. You get to decide who receives the amazing energy that you carry. The last one that I have for you is more of like a silly note, but I think, to be honest, it's very true and kind of practical in a sense, is that I get to come home to an empty house, which is great. Everything is left exactly where it was when I had left earlier on in the day. And like, say I come home from a really, really long day, it's kind of amazing not having to converse with somebody when I walk in the door, especially if my social battery is drained or I've had a really long day at work. The last thing I probably want to do is talk about my day at work, because it's always, how was your day? How was work? La la la. But I can walk in my door when I'm drained and I can sit in silence for as long as I'd like to, until I either start talking to myself or I call a friend, whatever it may be. But there's so much peace in that. I'm not saying that you can't maintain a level of peace or silence when you have a partner and you're living with them, because I understand that, there are boundaries when you come in. Sometimes you have to voice to your partner, hey, I'm really tired. I really want to connect with you, but I'm feeling drained. I don't have a lot of energy that I can outwardly put into listening with you right now or sharing this connection. So I am going to spend some time by myself. And I think that's so healthy. Obviously, you can do that when you're with a partner. But I also think it's a different feeling in a way. It's like knowing that I literally don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to have the conversation of, hey, I need some alone time right now. Like, I can just take unlimited alone time and not speak to anybody if I'd like to. You know what I mean? And after I record this, I'm probably going to take a nap, even though I never nap anymore. But the fact that I just don't have to converse with anybody is so nice. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Currently, while being single is a choice for me at the moment, I also understand that, that's not the same situation for other people. Because sometimes if you've suddenly gotten your heart broken by breaking up with somebody, or someone breaking up with you, or you lose your loved one, you lose your partner, whatever it may be, I understand that that's, not a choice. But there is also so much power in this choice, knowing that you can focus on yourself, that you get to learn about yourself. You being single and choosing to be single in this time, if you are, it means you get to uncover more of what you want in this world, to know that when you're ready to take the next step, that you've spent enough time with yourself, falling in love with the incredible human that you are. I think that that's really key, is that some people rush, I feel, sometimes into relationships because they are scared to be alone, or they don't know how to not be with somebody. But knowing that you're in a place where you are right now and you're choosing to fall in love with the incredible human that you are, I hope that you do not take that for granted. Your moment of being single, I feel like in the grand scheme of life, sometimes goes really fast for some people. And so right now, being single, if you are in this moment, or if you're listening to this in the future and you become single, let's say, this is your time to be in a relationship with yourself and to foster every single desire that you have before sharing a life with another human. Because while I understand that union is beautiful and it is so sacred for so many of us, I also really want you to find solitude in the moments with just yourself. And I also want you to know that there is so much more to life than just maintaining a relationship with another human and having a partner and a partnership. Yes, it's beautiful. However, I do believe that the most important relationship you will ever have in this world is the one with yourself. So I want you to take care of yourself. And if you are choosing to be single at this time, amazing. Good for you. I love it for you. I hope you're living your best life and knowing all of the benefits that there are with being single, because I also know that there are so many benefits with having a partner. There's not one right or wrong way to navigate this world. It's just the journey that you're on. And I promise you're not alone. Many, many people in the world right now, if you're like, why am I single? There are many people in the world that are single. And that just means it's the universe's plan for you. That just means knowing that it's this or something better. And how cool is it to know that there is something better waiting for you, even though you're fostering such an incredible relationship with yourself. I know that there's something better for me beyond this too. And it just means that once you allow life to be and to lead you in the direction that you're meant to go, that is just, once you know that, you just know that everything is going to work out, because it always does. But I'm proud of you for the journey that you're on. I hope you embrace every single part of it, whether you're with somebody right now, whether you're not, whether you're choosing to be celibate, or to just not date, or to just maintain a relationship with yourself. I hope that you know that there's so much of this world to see and learn, and I know that you're going to continue to learn about yourself in whatever journey that you're on. But I'm really proud of you for being as strong as you are and just doing such an incredible job with the life that you're given, because I truly think that you are doing a great job. But guys, that is the episode that I have for you today. I really appreciate you sitting with me and listening. I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I really, really mean that. And I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you. So I really hope that you feel it. I cannot wait to connect with you next Monday. I hope that whatever opportunity may arise for you this week, that you take it with open arms and know that you are divinely protected, because you are. And yeah, I will update you guys on the party on whether or not I go as Pitbull or, I don't know, a girl with some purple hair. But I appreciate you guys. I love you so much. I can't wait to connect with you super soon. So I will talk to you later. TTYL. Okay, bye guys.